Is RC worth it? Now, there's a lot that you can look at in the RC world. I talk to people all over this country and other countries a lot. Okay. I'm as a YouTuber, as a business owner with products, different things I've got working on behind the scenes. I'm going to differentiate myself from that aspect of it and just as a hobbyist. So that's what this video is going to be about. Just basically me running my mouth. So, as a hobbyist, as an enthusiast, is the RC is the RC hobby, is the RC addiction worth it? It's not cheap. Nothing about this hobby is cheap. You can get cheap RCs from Amazon all over the place, but if you want a good hobby grade RC, it's going to cost you some money. So, as much as we like to say it's kids, our kids, this and that, typically kids, they're not going to have anything decent unless the father is into it well. So it's kind of a this hobby is kind of one of those things where once you get past your teenage years, once you get past figuring out how to pay bills, all that stuff, when you start getting some extra money, this is why most of the time you find guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and up. So, but back to the original question: is RC worth it? Yes and no. Like I said, I've spoken to people all over the planet. For some people, RC has been a way for them to uh, keep their lifespan active, if that makes any sense to you. I've heard stories where if it wasn't for them finding RC, they wouldn't be here today. I've heard stories of that. I know RC, with the cost of it, it kind of keeps you out of doing other things that could be a lot more harmful to yourself. Yes, but I do feel RC is worth it. The biggest thing that makes RC worth it to me is the people that are in RC. I go to as many events as I can, and the vast majority of everybody I meet is absolutely helpful. You know, crawling, racing, boating. I mean, most people are there to help you, and it's that help that you need, the advice that you need. Sometimes the advice is not really what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear, and that's just kind of one of those things. For some people, and I have met a couple of these people. This was years ago before I was ever a RC guy. I was in like where I'm at now. I mean, I was into RC, but not YouTube or anything like that. This couple guys, this one guy in particular, he would show up with like a Traxxas Summit. Man, I got this brand new. I'm doing this, doing that. A few weeks later, do you want to buy it? My rent is due. I never understood. I don't understand why you would go through and do that if you can't afford it. And unfortunately, there are quite a few people in this hobby that can't afford it, uh, but they're trying their best to afford it. So when you find people like that, help them out. They found something that they just love to do. They just haven't figured out how to make it to really go and do it. So if you find somebody like that, help them. Say, hey, I'm going such and such a place. I got a couple extra trucks. You want to come with me? You know, put that hand out there. Help them out a little bit. Because this hobby, although there, there, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. One of the questions I'm asked, I'm sorry, I'm going to regress here. One of the questions I'm asked a lot is Is Axial making something new? Is Arma making something new? Is Traxxas making something new? Is Vidavon coming out with something new? And the answer is yes, they all are. Because if they're not coming out with something new, then they're part of history. They're gone. So yeah, everybody's coming out with new stuff. I am too. Um, Sometimes when I make videos, I put things in the video, kind of in the background that you can see, but eh, sometimes you guys see it, sometimes you don't. But overall, I do feel the hobby is worth it as a hobbyist because you got guys, they'll take a truck. We're talking crawlers and stuff, and they'll build it so immaculate. I mean, so scale. And this takes a lot of time. Typically, they learn new skills. They fine tune skills. It can keep their hands mobile because you're constantly doing things. You don't sit around and watch TV all day. So it's just one of those activity, I guess you could say. So with the activity part of it, absolutely yes. With the money part of it, probably not. I mean, I don't even want to estimate how much money I've got in this room right here, in RCs and the parts that are on these RCs. But I could probably pay off my home easily. So I don't have a big home. I'm not a millionaire. I'm barely a thousandaire. But from as a hobbyist, I do feel it is worth it because of the people involved in it, being able to talk to and get things done. Now, on my side of it, I've taken my hobby and I've made it into my income stream. Just over 2 years ago, I quit my job to do this full time. And I will tell you, it's had its ups, it's had its downs. I've been looking at the bill saying, I better figure something out. Been there, done that. I've looked at my bills. I'm like, not a problem. Pay that one, pay this one. Hey, I'm good. In this past 2 years, I've had both of those. So I'm trying to stay on the good part of it, to be honest with you. Trying to work on new products, trying to come up with things. And most of the products that I make are products that I want. If the way CAD, the different 3D designing programs are, and printers, it really allows you, once you get some skills to actually make it, it really opens up the doors. I mean, talking like blow the doors off the hinges, it just opens up things. I mean, like these executioners, I asked about 3 different chassis manufacturers to make this for me. Nobody wanted to touch it. I tried it, completely failed miserably, did not have the skills. But as time went on, I learned the skills needed. So this is why we have an executioner truck now. So, and I'm working on expanding that line into class 1, sporty, and possibly beyond. My ultimate goal is to actually have an RTR by the end of 2026. Don't know. We'll have to see how everything works out. Maybe before then, maybe never. I have high hopes. I have high aspirations. I want to do a whole lot with the industry. One of the things that I'm really hoping takes off, because not only will it help me, but it'll help you, and it'll help the vendors, and it'll help the locations, and it'll help the organizers, and it'll help everybody that's involved. And that's the Exo Fest. It was born because Axial closed the Axial Fest for this year. And one of my buddies, Paul, mentioned Exo Fest in one of my lives. And it was like, oh my God, that sounded so awesome. And now it's going to happen. So the first one is going to be at Cherokee Rock Village. The second one, I'm looking at Callahan here in Florida. Then January, I'm looking at DFD down towards Tampa. March back in Callahan, and then yeah, March in Callahan, May. I'm thinking sometime in May for back at Cherokee Rock Village, and then we'll take a break and come back in the fall. I want to go way more north, and I want to eventually take it all the way west. So I really, really wanting to do it. There was a guy that did this, and he's still active. He's still doing at least one event. Um, he was called the Recon G6, Brian Parker. The very first ever event that I went to was actually a Brian Parker event, one of his Recon G6s here in Florida. And I'll never forget it because I'm driving a Venom Creeper. And he goes, "You have your pull rope." I'm like, "A pull rope for what? What? Why would I want a pull rope? Just pick it up." I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. But as we were driving, there were some guys on this little log, and they were like taking other trucks and trying to pull it and winch it. And I'm thinking, what a bunch of idiots. Why? I just drove around. I'm like, they're back there messing around with a tree. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what the event was, what the event was supposed to be. I didn't get that at all. But times have changed, and I do get it now. They were not idiots. If you happen to remember that, I believe it was Santos Park, Santa Fe Park, or something down here in Florida. Can't think of the whole name of it. It was long, but I do remember that. I do remember that very first scale event. Like I said, I was driving a Creeper, big old G-Made tires, I think it was. I had a G-Made R1 side bouncer. I put Wraith axles under it with a Twin Hammers 2-speed transmission. It was actually pretty darn awesome for its day, you know. So I actually had a RC bouncer before, way before they became sort of popular, right? But regardless of all that, I probably talk way too much here, but I've got major plans with the Exo Fest series. Wherever it goes, whatever the theme is of that area, whatever the locals are doing in that area, that's going to be the theme of the event. If they're sand racing, we're sand racing. If they are boating, we're going to do some boating. If it's a flying event, we're going flying. Simple as that, you know. So the local area, whatever the flavor is, that's what we're going to be doing. So I've got a lot going on with that. I need to wrap this up. I've probably been running my mouth for way too long here, but I just wanted to mention a few things. Overall, as a builder, as a enthusiast, I do feel RC is worth it for the time, the friendship, and just being part of something bigger than yourself. On the money side, it costs way too much. It really does. It just costs way too much. This is why things like the Grom series, Arma, the Losi, the Groms, it's a good hobby grade vehicle. You can race it, you can comp it, you can do all these things, and they're actually really reasonably priced as compared to everything else. You get a race truggy, hey, that's $700, if not 8 or 9, for a kit. You know, you look at these different trucks, $500, $600, $700, $800. It's expensive. So for the people, yes. Money, no. As a business, doing what I do, man, it's risky as heck. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna make $10 a day. I don't know if I'm gonna make $400 a day. I've done both. I've also had some multi-$1,000 days. It just varies doing what I do. But anyway, so far over 2 years, and I do not regret leaving my job for this. And for that, I thank you guys, especially if you're still watching. You're why I'm here. Still. Guys, going to wrap this one up. I just wanted to mention I've been thinking about this video for about 4 or 5 days now, and just wanted to get on here and just chat a little bit. You guys have a good day.
If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see, also for channel memberships. If you guys want to be a part, channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So, guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.